As part of this week's work, we are going to examine how we evaluate and annotate our research sources. Not all research sources are equal. Consequently, we need to evaluate sources with a critical eye. We begin with the author. Who wrote the work? Is the author an authority on the topic? Is the author reputable? Is the author mentioned frequently in this field of study? Does he or she have other publications? A quick Google search can frequently help us identify our author's expertise. From there, we look at who published or produced the source. People can really get anything published if they're willing to spend enough money. Consequently, we look for books that were published by presses that are associated with colleges or universities, and we look for professional journals that are described as refereed or peer-reviewed. We should also consider the intended audience for a source. In graduate studies, in general, we want to rely on work that was designed for a scholarly, not pop culture audience. An additional consideration is how current a resource is, but we have to be careful. Yes, in general, we should focus our research on the most current information we can find. However, not all old sources are outdated. For example, if your focus is literary studies, it might be that an article written in 1961 is still considered a definitive resource. It simply depends on your topic. In all cases, we want to check the documentation of a source. Scholarly work should be accurately documented. Assertions need to be backed up with reputable evidence, with clear citations, perhaps formal additional textual notes, charts and tables, and also documentation should include extensive bibliographies, which can be a great way to find additional resources for our studies. A few types of sources deserve special mention. Let's talk first of all about Wikipedia. Because Wikipedia has a format that allows any person to go online and edit the content, it becomes very difficult to verify the validity of that content. Consequently, we might use Wikipedia for some general understandings within our field. However, we would never use Wikipedia in citations as an academic resource. The same is true with Google Docs. If we receive Google Docs, it becomes very difficult to know the expertise of those who have contributed to that file. Consequently, again, we need to be very careful about how we use that information. Finally, a mention about blogs. Blogs are a little bit different because sometimes we do have definitive experts in a given field who regularly post and make contributions to blogs. If that is the case, by all means, use that information. However, it comes down to that question of authorship and knowing that the author has a strong reputation within that field. After we have deemed a source to be of high quality and of use to our project, we typically will move to the second step, annotating our resource. Annotation is a method that's used by researchers to organize and catalog research sources. An annotation typically has three components: the source citation in correct APA format, a summary, and an evaluation. We provide for you here a sample annotation. Notice that the top segment is the citation in correct APA format. Of course, citation format varies dependent on the source type. In our lesson for this week, we have provided you with several resources that will help you decipher which format to use. Notice that the second paragraph is really a summary of this book, and the third paragraph is in fact an evaluative statement about the book itself. We want you to know that you will have more time to examine this sample annotation as we have included it in the PDF file that describes your homework in this week's learning activities. We hope that this brief presentation gives you a solid foundation for the skills that you will need as we move forward with our research for the next few weeks. Thank you.